you guys know I wasn't particularly a fan of Deadpool and Wolverine when we reviewed it, but I disliked it for far different reasons than some queer movie critics today. We saw that
if
Deadpool
you're new to
and
this
Wolverine.
Channel, I did love it, however. So,
yes,
we were split on this movie.
Just putting that out there.
We were split on this movie.
A critic from queerhorrormovies.com gave Deadpool and Wolverine a terrible review.
I was just going to buy that domain too.
Yeah.
Damn it.
And to no one's surprise, one of the major reasons why this queer movie critic disliked the movie is because it used frat boy gay jokes. That is actually the wording this person used. His name is Joe Lipset. He tweeted, I wish I hadn't seen it. It's shockingly bad. From CGI blood to the frat boy gay jokes to the lack of stakes to the terrible villain.
He would never have cared.
It's an unequivocal mess.
He would never have cared about the CGI blood if the jokes were the ones he liked.
Perhaps, yes.
He would never have cared.
He starts off his review saying it's too long, too desperate to be funny, too reliant on fan service, and looks bad. And one of his major points about what was bad in the movie is gay humor. He said there's always been an element of playful pansexuality about Deadpool.
That is true, at least from what I understand in the comics.
Pegging jokes in the first film.
Yeah, he does make that joke, but there's also jokes in the original one in the story where they make light of sexual abuse from family members. That was okay, but the gay jokes are bad?
Right. But the introduction of Wolverine seemingly gave the 5 writers permission to activate full-on frat boy humor mode.
Again, can I ask a question? Why is that bad? It's just another archetype of a person that actually exists. Just because you don't like it does not make it inherently bad.
It's because when you think of a frat boy, you're thinking of a white, straight, heteronormative male.
They're also...
all of which they presuppose you're supposed to hate.
And they don't like it because in the movie, his undying love for Vanessa runs through all the movies. So he's not pan. He loves Vanessa.
He's very much straight.
Yes.
The result is that every other joke is about how funny or gross it is to put 2 men's junk in close proximity. Where once Deadpool's teasing sexuality felt progressive, it now feels like straight bros tee-heeing about gay shit. I think it's both funny and gross to joke about 2 men's junk being in close proximity. And I'm not even a frat boy. So I think that is generally the sentiment of normal people everywhere, and they have been indoctrinated out of that over recent years.
By telling them they're a bad person.
But this is a nice return to form for normie entertainment that isn't bogged down by current politics, current year lingo. The one thing that dated it is him talking about like, oh, am I gonna offend Gen Z? Is Gen Z gonna cancel me? Just don't put those lines in the movie.
Yeah, that one didn't need to be in there. Look, there's literally a point in the movie where he stabs a TVA member with like an arm bone, and it basically looks like it's a dick, and he's jerking it off because he stabs the dude in the crotch.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if you don't find that funny. I don't really care. It's not even done in a way like, is that in some way derogatory? Like, is that instance, is that image somehow derogatory in any way? Does it say anything? Is he saying that homosexuality is bad by doing that?
Because they think the idea of a man jerking off another man is laughable and not super deep and intimate and loving.
The amount.
So that's how it's homophobic.
Yeah. Yeah, but
to give you an honest answer, that's genuinely what they would say.
But Bros has a bunch of comedy that was written by members of the LGBTQ.
It's okay because they're gay.
Yes, exactly. This is where we get into the stay in your lane shit. Okay,
you don't have to be totally honest. This is what they would say. It's okay when gay people do it.
You don't have to stay in your lane. You can write about whatever the hell you want to write about. Whether you're good at it or not is up for debate. But you know, the problem here is that you're outnumbered by the amount of people that like it.
Right, exactly.
And that bothers them.
That really bothers them because it makes them feel like they're stuck in the locker again.
And because they can't control you. Like, normally, if you're on Twitter, or it used to be that if you were on Twitter, you could control people with threats of saying that you're a bad person for laughing at this.
Or trying to find their job.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can't do that now.
So there were a few other posts echoing the same sentiment. One of them seems to be joking about suicidal ideation. After hearing the jokes, he said, me when Deadpool makes the 5th joke in a row where the punchline is being gay, or I will get canceled for that one.
I do agree that the stuff about making the wink and nod to being canceled is kind of lame.
A little bit,
but
yes.
It's in line with the humor.
This guy.
This video's classic, though. Everyone's seen this video before.
I just love that. But another one said, at the risk of getting too moralistic, stop right there. You are getting too moralistic. Said, it's also a movie I think is sincerely homophobic. This person thinks Deadpool is sincerely homophobic. So the idea that people need to be more quote unquote normal about the fact that general audiences are really getting a kick out of nonstop gay jokes during this cultural moment is very frustrating. Another one.
By the way, it's always a cultural moment. So you're never allowed to just not be a cultural. It's
right?
It's always
like
some
it's
big,
not like fresh after Stonewall.
Yeah.
Like get a grip on reality. We're not in a cultural moment, and you don't lack any rights that I have simply because of the fact that you're gay. Yeah. Another one said, it really rubbed me the wrong way, that Deadpool referred to gay people as the gays in the new movie, as if he isn't queer himself. I hate how his queerness is only ever played as a joke and never once sincerely. Okay, am I like crazy? I don't think Deadpool is queer.
In the comics, he's pansexual. So basically, he'll have sex with just about anything.
But in the movies, is it
in the movies? No.
That way,
here's what they hate about it. So in these movies, he loves Vanessa from the beginning of the very first movie, and that actually is the emotional through line from all the way through. Is that he in Deadpool 1 he gets cancer after him and her fall in love and they're going to get married. He gets cancer and he goes through and becomes a superhero because this evil organization says like we can cure your cancer, and it disfigures him. And his whole thing is that he wants to track down Francis so that he can fix his face so that he can go find Vanessa again because he loves her. Right? The second movie, it's all about, turning back time to save Vanessa from dying. He loves her. What they want is they want the emotional through line of the film to be him being in love with another dude.
Right.
And maybe they will end up trying to do that one day when they recast it and do a different actor as Deadpool. That's not happening anytime soon.
No one is going to care by then anyway.
And also, it's not a problem if somebody says the gays, because women get away with saying the gays and the theys all the time.
Well, it's okay.
As a term of endearment. It's
okay when women do it because they have twats. Sorry. No, but it's true. That's literally what they think. Speaking of women, they also think that Deadpool is misogynistic.
Yes.
Because remember the scene that's been stuck in your head for the past week?
Yeah, I tweeted the other day. I said
dance sequence.
It wasn't the dance sequence. To me, it's all of the ribs going through people's various body parts and blood.
The killing is what makes it.
Yes.
But
okay. So when
he's also dancing.
Yes. When it first started, it's about the fact that NSYNC starts playing as the protagonist of the film shoves an adamantine rib through a dude's eye. Like, no dude on planet Earth who's actually straight is not going to love that, okay? It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's not the dancing that made it awesome. It's the absolute ridiculousness of the whole thing.
I mean, the dancing was definitely, part of it.
No, I said it's the ridiculousness of it being intercut with all of the violence. I said what the Deadpool and Wolverine intro was what I imagined all of the sequences in Joker 2 were going to be, which is them killing a bunch of people while music played in the background.
Right,
okay,
so that's what we got.
This is not that.
This tweet compared that scene from Deadpool to the scene of She-Hulk twerking with Megan Thee Stallion.
Sorry that nobody cared about your lame cameo.
And they said it's the same thing, just made for a different audience. Both are funny, but only one gets hate.
No, that's not what it is. It's that the Deadpool and Wolverine has mass appeal. Your audience is tiny and sucks.
I just can't get over these people's delusions.
Like, sorry, nobody cares.
One said, and written by different writers. The difference is one wanted to entertain, the other had an agenda. Guess which one an audience is going to prefer. And they replied, or maybe they both wanted to entertain, but just to two different audiences.
And your audience is smaller and inconsequential. Nobody cares. It was also on a streaming service that nobody watches.
Who was the audience for She-Hulk?
Feminists.
Genuine question, because I don't think that even the feminists watched it.
Feminists.
Feminists like, what do feminists like?
They like My Lady Jane.
They like
Why
My
the Last
Lady
Man,
Jane.
The Handmaid's Tale.
Handmaid's Tale.
Interview with the Vampire. The TV show, not the movie.
They like Euphoria.
Do feminists like Euphoria?
Yeah, and yeah, they just don't watch superhero movies or shows.
No, they love superheroes in as much as they can be used as a cultural weapon to push their ideology.
They support it on social media. That doesn't mean that they're streaming it. So they might have been tweeting about The Acolyte or tweeting about She-Hulk. It doesn't mean they actually watched it and financially supported the show.
And anybody who's followed the comic industry...
Deadpool is mass appeal.
And anybody who's followed the comic industry for the last decade understands that this is exactly what the comic book industry has gone through, which is a bunch of people virtue signaling on Twitter does not equal out to sales at comic book shops. Yep. A bunch of people saying that they loved the Megan Thee Stallion cameo in She-Hulk does not equal out to any type of revenue. One, because it's on a streaming service where it doesn't matter anyways. And two... Deadpool and Wolverine has mass appeal.
When is She-Hulk gonna make a cameo at a Kamala rally?
Honestly, the better thing would have been to do is if he had gotten Megan Thee Stallion for a cameo, they would have liked that more anyways because Deadpool is likable and She-Hulk is not.
That's very true. Yeah.
They could have done that exact same scene and Deadpool lends itself to that type of humor. Nobody latched on to Tatiana Maslany's portrayal of She-Hulk.
Yeah, that's a good point. So there's really no comparison. And all of these people are just coping and seething about the fact that this is doing well financially. It's definitely going to make over $1 billion. Yep. That's certain. And I didn't like the movie, but I'm certainly not losing any sleep over the fact that it's doing well. Like, I can't imagine being one of these weird film Twitter
They hate that
nerds.
Guys got something for them. Like, they hate that guys got something for them that can allow them to turn their brain off and stand up and cheer. That they got something that appealed to them through 2 decades of Fox movies and endless cameos and things that, sure, they don't appeal to the average person. But there is a large amount of people that loved those movies, that loved, like, Blade being in that film actually was important to a lot of people. Like when people stood up and cheered because they got to see Wesley Snipes in this film, that just proves that you're mad that his cultural relevance still far outstripes Megan Thee Stallion on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.